there you go. We have wine. I have friends that have seen you somewhere and they call me and say, Diamond, I saw your mother. Hey, I got it. How much do my mother and I look alike? I needed you to be more emotional with me, but you're just
I
like...
don't know how to be emotional, unfortunately.
Have you met my mama? Thank you,
Why
mama.
do you call me mama?
I have no idea. So, with that, how was it dealing with an emotional child? I know as a child I was a crybaby.
You were too emotional.
I still am.
Oh my goodness. You didn't ask me what my regret is about
Tell
you.
me. Oh, about me? Oh,
Yeah. I was multitasking.
like, I know to pass this one because... Hi, guys. Hi. I am back. I missed you just as much. According to timeanddate.com, it is 19:47 p.m. and today is Monday, the 26th of May, 2025. You're listening to Dearest Diamond, a Diamond's memoir. My name is Diamond, and you know the drill. You're welcome! Thank you for coming back. Today is a special day. I'm nervous, a little small, but I'll make it alive. We have a guest. You know, they used to say some people are August visitors. This one is not. Yeah, well, it's not an August visitor, but sorry, as a Nigerian, August visitors means like, how do they mean? August visitors are like people that just visit rarely. There's not every time you used to see their face. So today I have an August visitor, and I think the best way to introduce her is to I'll start like this. No, let me start like this. You know, be grateful for lives that have been lived well. And initially, when I was going to have this episode, because of who I wanted to be the guest, I thought I was being selfish, considering that, my producer had just lost his mom. But I want to use this time to just take a moment of silence to honor her life and be grateful for the man that Sam is, and just be grateful for, I never met her, but I met Sam. I know Sam, and so I know her by proxy. And so just take a moment of silence. I'm talking too much already. Thank you. So that's just to be grateful for the life of Sam's mom. And today, my special guest of honor is my mama. Dearest Diamonds, have you met my mama? Mommy, introduce yourself now.
Okay. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely, it's my honor.
It's a surprise. Actually, I've not done this before. I was still just apprehensive to find out what is it about, what's going on, what's she going to, why am I here? But I'm grateful to be here, grateful for her life, grateful for my life, grateful for sound health. And my name is Angela, Dr. Angela Patrick Kudo.
Yeah,
that's who I am.
I do.
And I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. It means a lot. I don't know, people wait for special occasions sometimes for certain things to happen. Me, I just think that life is as you are seeing it now. So it is my absolute honor to be able to do this with you, to have you on my podcast. I know you said you've watched only one of my videos.
Only one.
But that's absolutely okay. And yeah, just grateful to share this moment with you, honestly. I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted at all. So I'd like to start by just, you've introduced yourself, to say, doctor. Me, even myself, I know they call you doctor.
My prophet will not get regard for home.
Jane. Voila. Did you know your grandma?
Excuse me?
Did you know any of your grandmothers?
Okay.
I don't think I've ever asked that before.
That what?
Did you know any of your grandmothers?
Of course I knew one.
Who's your mom's mom?
My mom's mom, yeah.
Tell me about her a little.
My grandmother, a workaholic, I call her. She doesn't hide her feelings, just like my own mom too. I think I was with her while I was between, I got to know, I was 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay.
That's what I spent some time with her. And it wasn't so long before I returned to my mom and dad. But the little I know her, she didn't have a dull moment. Going to farm, taking care of the family. She was a nice woman, until she fell sick, those old age stuff, and she gave up. But I can still remember vividly how she looks and how we, communicated with me. That's
nice. What was her name?
Her name was, she was Edem. But that's her husband's name. What was that her name again? I cannot recall now. But each time I'm asked my maiden name, filling any form, I always put Edem.
Okay.
I really cannot remember her name now, yeah.
Well, understandable. In Nigeria, actually, when you marry, you become Mrs. your husband's name. They almost forget who you were. So it's okay. But yeah, and then I knew my own grandmother, which was your mother. Okay. And I remember her being an absolutely amazing person. Her food was great. Even though, yes, like you, I cannot remember her own first name. But what was that to remind me? Since you would know that one for sure.
My mom's name was Martha.
Martha.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's good. I don't know. I think women are, so far in our family right now, we have a lot of women. I don't know if that's how it was when you were younger, but for me, I'm noticing a lot of my cousins are women, then your sisters, and then my own sisters, and then Anna's kids are all women, and then it is just giving birth to a baby girl. So there's a lot of women in our family, and I don't know, women are amazing. I always say that women are the salt of the earth. We bring spice and everything, and it's just nice to be able to have asked you about my great-grandmother, which I don't think I've ever thought about before. So yeah, thank you for being my guest. And before we go further, guys, we have wine as always. Best part. So today we have Ariel. We just bought it today. If you're expecting me to tell you any special thing about wine, if any wine company wants to sponsor me, they should sponsor me. That day, I will drink the wine. I'll tell you everything that there is to know. So, but today we're drinking Ariel. My mother does not drink alcohol, so it's non-alcoholic. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly open this. And while I struggle to open my wine, as always, we're going to keep talking. So one of my favorite things growing up was anywhere I go, like whenever I come to visit you at work and then I get to the gate, they'll be like, that's Miss Pachukudo's daughter. I don't even have to introduce myself. I don't have to anything. I have friends that have seen you somewhere and they call me and say, Diamond, I saw your mother, and they have never met you before. But we look alike that much. And so I don't know, guys, tell me in the comments, how much do my mother and I look alike? Because I've gotten that all my life, like, you look so much like your mother. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So yeah, once again, I forgot how they used to do this thing. Somebody showed me the last time. I think I remember. You come up, you put it like this, and then, yay, I got it. Woo! There you go. We have wine. So I'm going to pour wine for my mama and I, and we're going to cheers. Yay. See, this helping you, mama. Thank you.
Thank you, T. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So usually we will always say something. I don't know. We always say 10 things we're grateful for at the end. But usually when I pour wine, I like to say something that has happened either today or this week. Just anything that comes to mind that you just want to say you're grateful for, thank you for. I'll let you go first. Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me.
Well, I know that back in the village, before they take any wine or something, they would just have to do some talking.
Okay,
But
sure.
What I'm going to say is different from how they do there, because normally they pour libation. I'm not going to pour libation. I'm just going to kind of maybe like a toast or so.
Sure.
I say,
Okay.
we're grateful for the gift of life,
Yes.
for ability to be able to handle this wine and drink it in peace and in health.
Yes.
We appreciate God for his faithfulness and for this day.
All right. Yeah. So, cheers.
Cheers.
So, one of my, I won't say favorite, but one thing I really have thought about now in my, young adult life, and I always, like, anytime I, get to talk about how, women have to be strong a lot, there's something that comes to mind, and I want to ask you. First off, I'm not sure how to ask this question, whether to ask why, things happen that way, but how did you just handle it? So I remember, growing up, you've always worked, right? You only just recently retired. Congrats, by the way. So you've always worked. I remember, you always had like a job that you travel, you go out, you come back late sometimes, you come and pick us from church on Tuesdays and Thursdays to go to evening service, you drive from CMS, you come to Satellite Town, you pick us up. If you lived in Lagos, you know the distance. We'll go to church in Okota, you come back, and you go to work the next day. Amidst all this, in my growing up, I maybe didn't know when you had your first 3 children, but then I knew when you had your last 2. I knew when you used to, you make zobo and peanuts and take to church to go and sell on Sundays. On Saturdays, you are taking classes. I know this didn't all happen at once, but you had 5 children. I know in Nigeria, maternity leave is 3 months. So you have children, you go back to work, and not, through CS. How did you do you ever think back and say, how did I do it? Or just like wonder where all the strength came from, or what was your motivation? I know there's a lot of questions, but just tell me, like, how was it? How was it for you, from your own perspective?
All right, so you've asked lots of
I
questions.
know.
Let me try and see where I can start from. Okay, growing up was a little bit not so easy. From the background I came from, started working very, very early at my, as a teenager, was working and going to school at the same time. And it's like, I cannot even tell you where I got the motivation from, but in my mind of mind, I want to be something, I want to be somewhere, I want to make it. So, whether that was what, drove me to all those things, or I don't know, but I saw myself going further and further. I was never tired, and the thought of giving up never even occurred to me. Working, getting married, having children, and they stay furthering my education. No. I didn't see it as anything then. Mm-hmm. Where we lived, Satellite Town to CMS. It's not a small journey because of the traffic. Like where I was working, the vehicle will have to come by 5:30 in the morning. I should be on the queue by 5:30, and then we'll go to work, close by 4:30. I should be back home, or if it is a schooling day, I'll pass and go to school, which Lagos State University then. If there's no traffic, I am home. It's a church day, we go to church. And back, Okota was I won't even say whether it was the head of traffic area, but there was also always lots of traffic. There sometimes the church has closed by the time we get to church. We'll just turn back and start going back home. And then having children also, wow.
Says,
I know. I had 3 children. All of you I had all of you in Lagos, and there was times I've gone to school, going back home. The go slow will not let me get back home till around 12 midnight because I was driving, okay, and I will not leave the car there. On the go slow. I'll get back home. One of the children would have cried and cried and cried. Sometimes, if I had to go to the school with the child, the child is in the car.
I remember I used to follow you then with Sharon.
Thank you.
Come on.
The child will be in the car until we finish. We'll get back home. Having children, I had all of you were CS. I had all of you at CS, cesarean section. And I remember one occasion I was telling the doctor, listen, after this now I need to go and do my exam. So, so everything was just, I was very, very energetic. Oh, the gym was like a playground to me. I was always there. Everything on the pim. There was no dull moments in my life. I didn't even have social life. But there was no social life. I had friends though, but at your meet in school or in the office, after that we dispersed to our homes again. There was no social life, no partying, nothing. I was, Saturday, Sunday, I was very busy. And wow, looking back at it, where did I get the strength from? Where did I get the energy from? But it was just God all through. And leaving Lagos for Abuja with the last baby, who was just a year old. I continued the same job, working from morning till night. Then as an executive assistant, I work till my boss closes, work. And getting home, the children will have slept. I would just look at them. Oh, are you okay? I'll ask help. Are they okay? Any problem? No problem. It wasn't easy. But in the morning, I make sure I assist them in their assignments in school for school, look after them, ask them questions. And the children will always ask me, like to do their assignments in the morning. When you're all ready, oh, mommy, this, that. I say, why didn't you? Oh, okay, let's do it. Everything, what they say we should bring this, okay. That kind of life, that's how we lived and managed and, continue until I had to, take some of you to boarding house since your daddy was not available at that time. He was working all the way in Akwa Ibom. He was not available. So I wasn't also available. I didn't want to hear one news or the other about my girl.
So that's why
children.
we went to boarding school.
That was why you went to boarding school. So that at least I know you are safe somewhere. Not while I'm at work, you're at home, I don't know what you are doing. So that's how it was. And until you're all grown up now, until the last two children had to enter secondary school, secondary school, and before I let go the house help I had. Otherwise, I had all house help all through. And thanks be to God, they were not the devious or funny ones like we hear these days. I give God the glory.
That's cool.
So
you see, you're talking in third person as if I wasn't there. I remember witnessing all of these things, and just at the time, obviously, it wasn't anything. I know recently you were saying something like, oh, this is because I was talking about working and sometimes taking my courses and then coming to the studio, and you were saying how, that's how you were when you were young. And I'm like, you had a much more difficult job. I am lounging, if anything, compared to you at my age. And I don't know. I think that you did absolutely amazing. Sometimes I wonder why you did it. Do you ever think, why did you do, even just you had 3 children at first, cesarean, and then you went on to have 2 more. Did you think about yourself? Do you ever sometimes think back and say, maybe I would have done things differently, I would have chosen myself more or something? I don't know.
At one point in time, I had the mind of stopping with only 2 children. I had the mind to have only 2, the boy and the girl, which were already there. Then there's something about listening to people talk and all this. Then the lady said, if I have only 2, there'll be too much envy and jealousy, competition between them, which was true from what I saw. And I went on to have the 3rd, that's a girl. And then what happened? We started now saying, let's see if we can have another boy, because the first one is a boy. The 3rd one is a girl. The 4th one is a girl.
And then you say to try
and
again.
then the 5th one. And I said, okay, I have come to my senses now. No more. That's how God's grace will now stopped. And that's how.
There's now 5 of us.
It became 5. Well, I have no regrets for whatsoever reason, no regrets at all. I love all of you. You are just wonderful children, and in different ways and characters and ways you have come up. Cool. It's cool. Yeah.
No, I, of course, like now that we're all grown up, it's all nice and stuff,
Yeah.
having all of my siblings and everyone. I love the family. I used to say when I was younger, I wanted to have a large family. I still think I want to do. Maybe not in the way people always have families, like you give birth to all the children and everything. Maybe not, but hopefully one day I'll have a large family, people, because I think I like the fact that our family is large, and it's been nice, It's been nice having to worry about this person and that person and think about this person. Oh, I haven't talked to this person yet. So thank you for all my siblings and for all the things that you do. I think at this point, they say that a lot of times people used to give people accolades when it's late. Maybe they either are not there to collect the accolades or, something. So now that I have you here, I want to say thank you. I think on behalf of all my siblings, like, you did amazing. I don't know how you did it, but you did amazing. I used to say, I've said it severally, that I don't want to be as strong as you were. If anything, I just really want to be a soft babe. But I think you did really, really great. There's obviously so many things that outside of my looks that I take from you and that I really, really like that I did. At this point, I'm just going to ask something. So I asked my colleague, I call him my twin. He's my colleague. We share the same birthdays and stuff. And he's like, what question will you ask your mom? And so he told me something. So I want to ask you. The question is, do you think my life turned out the way that you envisioned? Or, did you think, how did you envision my life turning out? Is that something you thought about? And if it is, did it turn out the way you actually thought?
Well, come see, come, sir. Do you know, I've never thought of that. Lots of times I expect you to be one way, but you are not, because you have a mind of your own, just like I do have a mind of my own. Nevertheless, you have turned out much more than I expected, actually. Achieved at this age, things that I couldn't even have imagined. You're a determined person. There's something I failed to acknowledge, or somebody I failed to acknowledge earlier, and that's your dad.
Okay.
I couldn't put him past how marvelously supportive he was. He still is. Lots of times he was asking me, "Aren't you ever tired?" I said, "Tired?" There was no tired in my dictionary. All I knew was I should keep going on and on and on. I kept knowing what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And for him, it doesn't feel that one should just make up his or her mind spontaneously and go ahead to do, but that's the kind of person I am. I think of something, I'm doing it immediately. I don't want anybody to discourage me. Okay, so, and that's how I think you all are too. You all are just like that too. The only aspect is that a lot of time people don't take to the old people's advice. You like to do it your own way. Okay, everybody has their mind, and I appreciate that everybody has their own mind and not being propelled by other people's state of mind and, influenced, by other people's way of thinking. So that's that. You have turned out well, and all of you too, by God's grace.
Thank God. It was just something he was like, okay, I'll ask you. But yeah, I think I was saying earlier, really, just thank you for everything, for giving your life, literally, because that's what you did. You gave your life. One of my favorite memories is, I think, and maybe then, I don't know why it meant a lot to me, but it means a lot to me even now as an adult more. But when you gave birth to either Sharon or no, for some reason, I think it's Sharon. And Sharon's birth was difficult. You stayed in the hospital a little long, a while. I remember you drove yourself to the hospital. Just came back from work one day and you said, "Oh, don't worry, you guys will be fine. I'm coming. I'm going somewhere. Next thing we know, we're coming to visit you. You had given birth to a baby." I'm like, okay. But I remember that when you came back from the hospital that period, it was not Yeah, it must have been, no, Sharon, because it was around my birthday, right? And you came back with my birthday cake. I can never forget. You brought birthday cake from me from the hospital. I'm like, I don't know why it meant so much, but I remember it meaning a lot to me then. And now I can just imagine you were thinking, you were going through a lot. Obviously, you had just given birth. That must not have been easy. You stayed in the hospital. I think, I don't know if it was not Sharon, but I think Sharon was a little sick or something. And then you came back and, you had my birthday cake. I think you even had a gift for me still. It meant a lot to me. So thank you. I don't think I've ever said it, but thank you so much for that. That was really, really good. I don't know how you mothers do it. You forget yourselves literally and just...
A woman is literally a computer. A nano computer, because she thinks less than in seconds. You're planning. While you are even sleeping, your head is at work. You are thinking of this, that, the other, yourself, others, the husband, the children, what is that, the food and everything. You are thinking of everything. So, but, God help me, like I said, it wasn't my power at all. Because looking back, how did I even do it, Seth? I just said, God, it's been you and you and you alone. So, it was worth it.
Yeah.
For me, it was really, really worth it. And I know that in so many ways, not really, really being around you as people wanted it, because of work and all those stuff, you missed my company and I missed yours too. The little things that you would have wanted to tell me, maybe in the morning or in the night or anything, I wasn't, there. But I've always encouraged any one of you that at any point in time you had any issue, at any point in time, it doesn't matter what I was going to do at the time, just talk to me and I'll be listening. I will listen no matter what. And there were times I go to, when your brother had issue in school, I will go there. What is the problem? Why is this? Why is that? And if you come back not happy, maybe they beat you in school, I am there in that school the following day. No dull moment. Why is it happening? I said people didn't tell me or I didn't know anything about it, but I'll be there. You understand? So I was multitasking.
Like, I know to pass this one because... Oh, no.
So that's it.
I remember it vividly. I remember you doing my assignments for me. One time that I think it was 2+2, you asked me, I was in like primary 1 or so, and I didn't get it. Sorry.
Is it the losing of the hair in the morning that you didn't want the hair anymore?
Really? I don't even remember that one.
You planted it on Saturday or Sunday. In the morning you were crying that you don't want that hair anymore. I said, what happened?
And you
I don't want it. I'm going to flog me in school. And we lost it.
Oh my God!
And we lost it.
No, that one you said you don't know 2+2. You are in primary 1. The next day we started after school lesson. There was no, because I remember I told you I didn't want to do lesson anymore, and you were like, okay, you had agreed, and then we were doing our assignment and we started, and I didn't. You said, oh, go back to lesson, and that was it. So it was really good. Let me ask you something, and answer it as freely as you want. Is there anything you don't like about me?
You're full of excuses.
About what?
For doing what you want to do, and I'm saying it's not like say no. Except you give me a particular reason why I should not do it, and maybe I don't even have what I know it's not right, but you will not accept. And
oh yes, please go ahead.
Oh well, I guess we're not in agreement in some ways, like. Where we worship, you're not in agreement with that. And you've gone the way you feel, where you think it's comfortable with you. Although I'm still at it.
I hope you're not staying awake all night praying that God will change my heart. God has touched my heart, Mommy. Don't worry. I respect that. And it's something I think about sometimes, that how you love someone and you believe that this is, what is right for them. It must be so difficult to see them, just do something completely different and just be able to, still love them through it and accept them and, still advise them and guide them. One of the things that really, really, I don't know how to put it, but recently something happened and you didn't You never, even though we've never really talked much about it, like in details, which is not something you've been very good at, like you don't address issues like upfront. You just like sure-handed comments. Or I remember when I was younger, you like read my diary, and that's how like you be like, okay, what is going on or something. And then even now I noticed that, okay, you not necessarily have like direct conversations about things that, especially when it's very deep and maybe I'm sure you don't know how to navigate it. But one thing that something happened recently, and the way you never said, oh, I told you so, or it's good for you, or, you just loved me.
I know what you're talking about. Is it about the settlement?
Yes.
Okay. I don't. It wouldn't have been nice for me to say, "Oh, I told you." It wouldn't have been nice. Although somehow I felt, oh, well, God has His way of doing things. Because actually, I was even still praying. I prayed about it, and the way it came, it had to come through you, not through me, so that it would not be said that it's me that didn't want it. So these things are not things somebody should be fussy about. You just should come naturally, and when it comes naturally, it's not good enough. It will should also go naturally. So that's it.
But yeah, thank you. I don't know, that love that you all showed me, you especially, thank you. But just kind of wrapping up conversation, I wonder this thing I just said about how you find it difficult to have had conversations, do you agree with me?
Yes, I really agree with you. The reason why it is like that is not because it's, how will I put it? Naturally speaking, I don't bear grudges. If I'm offended, if I know that I talk to you about it, you will not you will not see what I mean, I will let it go. But if I know you are going to see what I mean and it disturbs me, I'll talk about it. If it doesn't disturb me, I let it go. Okay, lots of times when there are things that I should talk about, I am faulty in that area. I'm weak in that area. But sometimes it flashes, and in my mind, how will I even put it? She will not accept. She will make excuses for it. This, that, or the other. I just talk to myself, and I then let go. Just like I was asking you today about, your outing the other day. Just to know, you get it. Just curious to know what's going on. Because so that if there are things I should maybe correct, I can correct, and the correction doesn't have to be taken, but let it go that I've done some correction. So I don't let things bug me, honestly, and because I don't let things bug me, it affects another person, which I think I should have talked to the person about, but unfortunately, it's not like that. Maybe I should adjust.
Well, it's okay. We've lived through it. So. With that, how was it dealing with an emotional child? I know as a child I was a crybaby.
You were too emotional.
I still am.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And I remember all the moments we've had when I came back from Word of Faith and I was feeling very down. All of those moments. I remember the few moments we've had, Mommy. How was it? Because I feel like I needed you to be more emotional with me, but you're just
I don't know how to be emotional, unfortunately. I don't know, but something was telling me something is wrong. What happened? Until we were embraced and you started weeping. I said, you're missing your school. You said, yes. I said, wow, this never happens to me.
No.
That I'm partying with somebody and
you feel...
Listen, when I'm partying with somebody, at that moment of time, I'm forgetting. Because I don't want to be troubled. I just zero my mind. This person is not here now. So why should I be emotional? So you're not.
That's the one thing I did not collect from you.
I
don't know where.
I don't know
where I took it from, but I took your own emotions plus my own joined together. Now, no is sharing some with me. So.
I used to be very emotional when I was very, very young. But I didn't have a mother that understood my emotions. So I grew tough.
Yeah, I don't want to. I refused. But no, you showed up in the times that I really needed it, and yeah, it was good. So anyway, it's been amazing having you here. It's been great to share this conversation. Thank you for being you. I don't know. People have had hard childhoods. I didn't have a hard childhood. I don't remember having, stressing. I think the most stress we went through was when we moved from Lagos to Abuja and things changed for a bit. And it was just hard for a year or two, but I saw how much effort you put into making things comfortable for us, how much effort you've put through the years into making things comfortable for us. When we moved from FHA to this other house in Akko, and you put in so much effort to make sure the house was at least a little bit as comfortable as we're used to, because those moments were hard. So thank you. I wish Daddy was here. I wish, you guys, I could do this for you both at the same time, but I'm grateful that, we can do this now. Hopefully another time, you and Daddy will come around and I'll be able to, just enjoy you people. I know that at least I'm young enough to know that life, you don't get every day like this. So yeah. Usually on the podcast, we always say 10 things that we are grateful for. And then we have affirmations. We've spoken a lot, so we can just say 5 things that we're grateful for today. I can start, and then you go first. So you say 3 at the end of the day, and I'll say 2 or something like that. But I think I already started. I'm grateful to have you here. I'm grateful to experience these moments with you, to be able to do these things with you, to be able to say thank you for everything, And yeah, I'm grateful for that. So.
All right. I am grateful that you're my daughter.
Aww.
You're my DNA. I'm grateful for how far God has led you, has taken you, and I'm also grateful for the future that God is going to take you. You have a bright future by God's grace. So thank you for having me here. I'm really, really appreciative. God bless you.
Amen. Amen. I am grateful for everyone in our family, for Daddy, for you, for you people's marriage. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for my siblings and just everybody that you've given me in my life. If anything happens today, there are at least 6 people that I can call and say, oh, this is what's going on, or that's what's going on. And I know that they've got my back. So yeah, thanks for giving us such a large family. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, you're next. What another thing you're grateful for?
Your next, this is one stage. Okay, God has brought you to this stage. He's still going to take you to the next stage. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be a grandmother, of your children when you settle down.
Amen.
Which is very soon.
Amen.
Yeah, it will not take long.
Amen.
It will not take long by God's grace. Yeah.
Okay. So I think final thing that I'll say I'm grateful for is just your health. And one of the things that I try to practice in my gratitude is, as much as I'm grateful for the things that have happened, I'm grateful for the future as well. I'm grateful for that you live long and that you would live in health. Amen. The Bible says that, even as your soul prospers, so in your soul will prosper. Amen. You will not have a better yesterday. Your future is long and healthy. So I'm grateful for that future. I'm grateful that, you play with your grandkids, like you said, and you'll be strong and healthy to see them. So, yeah. Before we go, let's affirm something. What is something that you tell yourself, when it's like, I'm not having it easy, or, I'm just exasperated, I'm tired, I can't do this anymore. What is that thing that you tell yourself, that you affirm to yourself, that just keeps you going, that keeps you strong?
I remember where I was working as an examiner. We are expected to treat certain number of files every week. Before I finish the assigned number of files for that week, more comes in. How do I? Then at the time I felt like screaming. I said no to myself. You can't scream. This is your job. You have to do it. That kept me going. Then when I left there, I became head treasury. And it was not easy because we have to circulate currency all over the country. I was the head. And they were calling me this, that. In my mind, how did you get to all these things? I said, okay, I tell myself, I can do it. If somebody is expecting me to do it because I'm the head, then I can do it. So that keeps me going. I can.
Okay.
By God's grace, keeps me going. I'm not given to frustration, and I don't allow people to frustrate me. I'm not given to sadness. I don't allow people to make me sad. I make my own happiness. I create a world of myself for myself and make myself happy. So nobody has any chance to make me unhappy. So I think that youths, boys, girls, men, women should go like that, because lots of people feel sad because this person is not talking to me, or that person does not want me around. Who are you now? I have my world. I have my life to live. So you cannot spoil it for me. So I think everybody should forgive easily. That will keep you in health.
Yeah.
Don't be a grudge. Somebody offends you, if you cannot go to the person to tell the person this one, forget about it. If you don't feel happy about it, tell the person. If the person does not accept, you have said it, and then your mind is free. So
okay. So I think I'll summarize that into, I create my own happiness, and I can do it.
Your own world,
I can do all that I put my heart to. I can do all that I put my mind to. I create my own happiness. I can.
You can.
So, Dearest Diamonds, have you met my Momo? Thank you,
Why
Momo.
do you call me Momo?
I have no idea. I don't know where it started from. I just know that everybody has what they call their own mothers, and I was like, me and Mama.
So which language is that, Momo? I think it's Yoruba. It's Yoruba.
Of course, the intonation is
It's
Yoruba,
Momo.
but we don't even speak Yoruba, so I don't know. But yes, and every other person has taken it up. At least Sharon now calls you
know
Momo.
what?
I hear them.
You didn't ask me what my regret is about
Tell
you.
me. Oh, about me? Oh,
Yeah.
please tell me.
My regret about you is that I did not start teaching you my language early enough. Yes.
Mommy, speak the language to me. I will.
That's my regret. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing rest of your week. And don't forget to subscribe, listen, share with your friends, comment, tell me something about your own mom. Don't forget to tell the people that you love them. Appreciate the ones that you've got only now, now. So have an amazing